We're back in Chevy truck land. Check this out. It's actually not as bad as I thought. Let's get some new panels. That one's available. It's basically a wheel well hoop. And you know, these guys here, it's rotted. Basically where the wheel's going, right in the well where it always rots out. That's surface. That's blastable. And same thing here. Cut this out. That one too. The back is fine. Both sides are great. You know, there's only like 20 inches there. Cut it out by the looks of things. Actually, this is the good side though. Okay, so this well is good. Everything's good. Frame's good. This is the worst side, which is way better than I thought. Well, at least better. Same thing. This one's gone all the way down the bottom, but that's how they come. And there's plenty there for just the hoop, and that goes to right up to the seam or the whole side, and you can get the back too, but the back's okay in this case, right? Yeah, that's okay. That's surface. Same thing, a little worse on this side, the I-beam sort of things there that hold up the box. I'm not good on the lingo, but you know, U-shaped sheet metal bent up is a little bit thicker gauge. Oh, I could be wrong there. Actually, I think it's the same gauge as the bed. And this is all okay up here. All these are good. That's just surfacing. That one down there is good. The further you go back, the worse it gets. And I knew that when I was driving it because my tailpipes rotted out. That guy over there. Oops. And you know, driving like that is crazy because all the fumes are corrosive, right? So if there's any rust under here, it just attacks it. And that, I'm sure, contributed to its demise here. So I drove it like that for a couple of years probably. Which I wouldn't do again if I'm gonna drive something that's, I know you get lazy and you figure, well, I'll get to it, but you just cause yourself more work. Inner cab corners at this point is unsure, but it almost looks like it's mostly just yeah, see, went through there. Look at that. I think I can save them if I can fabricate it myself. I don't have to order an inner. And of course the rockers, well, that's the full one. I don't know, it feels smooth up there actually. It is, it's smooth. Okay, get in there. That's totally smooth. So it's just this here. It's actually smooth in here too. Right here, just there. And then it's smooth up here all the way along. So don't need the full guide, just the outer and the inner. And the floorboards are good. Just a little surface rust right there. Frame's all good. I replaced the tanks. Hopefully they're still okay. That was quite a few years ago, but at least it's not the original OEM. And the doors, you know, I think they're, this one here at least. The other one I got to replace. Now this is the worst fender too. I could cut out a strip here. This is the inners are definitely hooped. The inner wells. That one's got the triple core rad as well. This guy's only a standard rad. And if I'm trying to remember, I think that's the original rad too. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know. These are my eyes right here. These lenses. You can't get in there with your glasses. You can. Yeah. I've got a mirror here. I can show you what I'm using here. It's a Sony. You know, I forget what it's called now. Don't have my glasses. Whatever this thing's called, little tiny thing, right? Action cam. Let's see over here. So you can actually, you know, get it down into places. Check it out. Wide angle. It's on. There's another setting for super wide angle. Need the proper lighting here though. So let's check it out. Yeah, I think the other's okay. Same thing along here, just this side actually might be okay, salvageable. Yep. Replace the door. Inner cab corner. This side is better. Okay, so I don't need those. Inner and outer. Ooh. Inner might be okay. Oh no. Anyways, I have to see. I took the wheels off so I could slide the box along the top of the frame and it doesn't get hung up on the wheel wells. Lowered it right down so I'm not lifting so much. Put it down on these old fruit separators, stack of those, give it a little push, and actually on third evaluation, well, it might even be a fourth. I think it's a little worse than I thought. Oh. I went up and had another bowl of Wheaties. Pull it off. Oh. Right to my max, and then one of those bolts sticking up of the back of the box there, hooked onto my loose clothing, it always seems to get in the way. I'm going, trying to unhook it. Yeah, it's the cross members that are really wheezed. They're hooped. It's kind of what I figured when I first crawled underneath it. It's not just patches, it's the whole damn thing. I think these are okay. So that means this one here and the end one are okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 I'd have to make up. And I see LMC truck doesn't have those anymore. Only for the step side. So that sucks. Maybe I can get them locally here. Through, yeah, I did that 8 years ago. And 9 years ago. I ordered one of these from our local guy. And really, you could just go to a sheet metal guy and he could bend them up. If it came to that. See, that one there is special contoured, and that's the one that's okay. Yeah, I don't know what he charged for that. $250. 3, 4, 5. It might be $250. But if I can get this box satisfactory, well, it'll be a little bit more than satisfactory. So, okay, that means taking all these off, taking these off here to expose all of the underside of the bed, and then I can evaluate that. That's the first thing before I go any further. It could be really almost right through into the bed. Once I take these off, we'll see. That's the proper way to do it. You know, I got to treat this like I'm going to recycle it and put them back on my keeper, rather than, you know, flip it on something I'm going to sell. That's not really fair to the person, for one, unless I tell them all about it. And well, a frame's a frame, you know. It's not really bad rust. It's not unibody, it's way thicker metal, the frame, so, you know, even though it's got dimples or little pot marks, you know, sort of like this. The frame might look like this in areas. Not as bad. It would be the driver's side. Right here is the worst. As you can see, it gets better as you start getting closer to the heat source. Engine and transmission exhaust system gives off heat, and it just minimizes the corrosion process. It's all back here, and as I say, the exhaust being open like that certainly didn't help very much. Okay, well, that's good to get that all off. Now I can start scrubbing this frame down. I really need a new hose for my blaster. You know, it's getting kind of short and it wears out. It keeps blowing down in there at the bottom, blowing right through, and you panically run over and shut her down. It's happened like 4 or 5 times, and I cut it a little shorter. Now this one here is a little spot. See, there's feels like the floor is okay. It's just the back here, the back panel. That's an easy, cut it out, you know. Well, then my own material, bend a little flange on it. Yeah, this one's going to be fabricating, that's for sure. Oh, I got to find a better door. That one's really not up to my standards for a keeper. It's all Bondo below. Anyways, I'm just curious to see what these tanks are like. I'm going to drop those out. Go over them. I noticed gas there yesterday, and I look over, and this thing's dripping on the driveway from the gas tank. So that one's got to come out. It's the main one too. So actually, this is a good setup too, because this one has a large And then the reserve tank is the same size as these. So I'll have to scope that out. I may be able to put the large in this sucker here. That was the one that was leaking though. Anyways. And then these are noted to be very unsafe because they're outside of the frame. So if you get T-boned, that thing just gushes out everywhere, and people have died in fires. You know, they have since put them inside the frame. But actually this is a good design for working on it because, you know, all your mechanical stuff is all exposed. And then these are tucked up nicely on the outside. You just have to drive, you know, with a third eye. Be careful, and that shouldn't happen to you. I think a lot of these accidents, people just weren't paying attention, and you know, just because it's a green light doesn't mean you can go through. You always look both ways before you put on the gas. You just assume that everybody's paying attention and T-bone. Well, I got some hours here. Lots of hours. Popped out the rear slider and I straightened that a little better. Pulled it out, just grunted it out with my hands. And now I need the puller to pull out the dents. There's actually dents on the inside here too, a little bit.